Good morning, I'm John Ellsworth, founder of Success Strategies Incorporated and the creator of the Success Strategies Advantage software. And I want to thank you for listening today. Thanks for being here. This presentation I've entitled, What Do I Do Now? A lot of businesses the last 18 months have been running into, I guess simply stated, it would be cash flow challenges. And as a result of having a shortage or a minimal cash flow, they've run into problems on the balance sheet side of their business too with diminished working capital. That's basically where your current assets are less than your current liabilities. Another way of stating it in everyday language is your outflows, your short-term liabilities or outflows, things you have to pay for, are greater than your short-term inflows, and that's funds coming into your business. Not a good situation to be in, but let's talk about how we got there. And I want to give special thanks to our politicians who did a great job of buying votes for themselves, but unfortunately, it kind of backfired. This is a great example of unintended consequences. They probably meant well with what they were doing, but the reality is they pumped so much money into the economy through, I don't want to call them handouts, but various help programs, let's just leave it at that. And that created this nasty thing, that big I word that nobody wants to say, inflation. It caused inflation, which as a result forced the Federal Reserve Board to increase interest rates, like 5.5% over a 2-year period. And maybe by the time you're seeing this video, they may have acted to start decreasing them again, but they haven't yet. And at this point, as of today, those Fed interest rate hikes have been pretty painful for businesses, especially on the short-term front. And as a result, a lot of costs have gone up due to the same inflationary effect that the Fed's trying to fight with these higher interest rates. But that includes labor and frankly, you know, your workers, my workers, our employees, our team members, they all need more money just to cash flow themselves, to be able to pay for things. So it's kind of a nasty circle, but they need them too. So the question is, what do I do now? So what to do now? Should I exit? That's a question I've been asked several times in the last couple of months. Should I exit right now while asset prices, asset values are really high? Maybe liquidate? Is there ever going to be a better time, John? And, you know, I don't know the answer to that, of course, and none of us do for sure. But what to do now, and should I exit today versus later? Both are great questions. But I think an even better question for us to be asking is your business sustainable? Will it cash flow under normal circumstances? If you look at the dairy industry rather, in 2023, we had okay milk prices, but they're pretty much average milk prices. And the cost of supplies, repairs and maintenance, labor, and fuel and oil just went through the roof. They were crazy high. It was what I would call a perfect storm. We had negative cash flow. We had weak working capital for our balance sheets of our businesses. And that got kind of scary for the banks. So we really couldn't borrow our way out of this dilemma. And frankly, you were very fortunate if you could find a bank to help you borrow your way out of it, because it was scary for the banks too. And frankly, they were somewhat unwilling to lend money in this situation. So if we can't borrow our way out of this, what can we do? I think 2 questions we need to ask. Number one, does your business cash flow? If you need help with this in the dairy industry, go to our website, success-strategies.com. You will find a tool. You can even try it out for free for a while, a free trial, to do various what-if scenarios. What if I were to reduce my workforce by 1 full-time equivalent? What's the impact of that? What if I lowered my supplies cost by 3% or 10% or whatever it is you need to do? Number 2, if it's sustainable, I think this is an important question to answer for yourself. Is it really something that you want to do? Do you want to continue in business? Or do you want to exit and capture the positive equities that you have available to you? because I think it's important. If you know your why, then determining or figuring out how to turn things around is much easier. But you have to have a why. You have to have the inner drive, that excitement that keeps you going. But if you know why, the how part is a lot easier for us. And so to recap what to do now, I think there's several things. Number one, make sure your business is sustainable. If not, maybe you do want to exit at this point. But if it's sustainable, identify your why. If you determine that, you can then look at new things. Look at new potential revenue sources and opportunities, I call them, to diversify, to find new things, new sources of revenue. And finally, look at your costs. If you needed to reduce your costs by 5%, could you? Number one, could you? Number two, what would you cut? What could you potentially cut? Is there any fat in your business? And I want to point out this, the point to consider and a question you really need to consider is, what's next for you as you look at these various options? And I'll finish up with a quote from Willis Whitney, who said, and I quote, "Some men have 1,000 reasons why they cannot do what they want to do, when all they really need is one reason why they can." End of quote. I want to thank you for listening today. I'm John Ellsworth, founder of Success Strategies Incorporated and the creator of the Success Strategies Advantage software, and I would encourage you to go take a look at that on our website today. Thank you very much.